What is infinity? Peace once again, my fellow expressions of consciousness. If you are new to this channel, what I do on this channel is I help point people outside of their limiting beliefs that they are a limited being, because it's simply not true. The word infinity arises a lot when anybody of any particular belief is speaking of the truth of the universe. Whether it's the debate about whether the universe is infinite, self-sustaining, whether God is infinite, self-sustaining, whether infinity can exist or not. Likewise, in the teaching that I give, although it's weird to say teaching because I believe I'm just saying what we all know, but the mind of course clouds it. I also assert infinity being reality itself. But clearly we experience the finite. For example, you can simply turn this screen off and on, which will show the finiteness of the experience of this video. You obviously sleep at some point during the day or the week, showing the finiteness of the phenomenal experience. Trees grow, trees die, people grow, people die. We experience finiteness constantly. So if it seems as though our experience is indeed finite, how can someone like myself or others say, no, it's really infinite? Reality is really infinity. The sticking point that I'm going to address here is that one. How can infinity be finite? How can finite be infinite, infinite? How can they be the same? Surely one is true, one is not true. The thing is, what we must understand when we're trying to understand infinity is that duality is infinity. Infinity appears as duality, as the experience of a multiplicity of objects, of phenomena. That is infinity. The fact that you can even theorize about infinity is because infinity is what everything is made out of. We are in it and we are it. We often believe infinity being something that the mind cannot comprehend. And it's true, the mind cannot point at infinity, so to speak. Pinpoint infinity, so to speak. Because by definition, infinity is infinite. So it can never be held down. You can't see it because you are it. Think of the other way around. Let's say the world is actually, or the universe is actually finite. The base of reality is finite. Let's say that for a second. If the base of reality is finite, then how could anything exist? If the base is constantly crumbling, constantly changing, how could we ever experience consistency? You're experiencing consistency right now, watching this video uninterrupted. If the base of reality itself, the universe itself was finite, then we would constantly experience glitches, just like the film The Matrix with the cat. If you remember that scene in the second one, I think. We would be moving like tick, 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 like robots. Everything will look glitchy because the base would be constantly changing. Well, that would be. But we experience smoothness because the base layer of reality is infinite. It's constant. It's the only thing that is constant. In that it doesn't change. Change is constant in that change is always happening. But the things themselves, they themselves are not the constantness of reality. Meaning a cloud changes. So a cloud is not the constantness of reality. The cloud is not the base of reality. As I just said, finiteness, or what I'm saying is finiteness cannot produce consistentness. I'm using a lot of ness right now. But infiniteness can produce finiteness. Easily. Because it's infinite. It's unlimited. You are home already. You are already this infinite. I can't even give it a word. Because we are all, it is beautiful. Just this infinite. No word is good enough. You are that. Whether you say you are or not. I still don't get it, Tiger. How can there be infinity? It doesn't make sense. You only have the mind to understand things. So how can you say that? How can you assert that? Good and fair question. But let me take you back to what I just said. That really look at this. I can't think of a better example right now than this one that's coming to my mind, which is there are lines on my hand. The lines on my hand need the hand, the fleshy part, to be consistent, to be constant for the lines to be. If the hand, not the lines, but everything else but the lines of the hand were to disappear and then reappear, disappear and then reappear, do you think the lines themselves could still exist without that which it appears on or in? Of course not. The lines would disappear with the hand. But because the hand, again, bar the lines, is constant, the lines are always there. You can always see the lines. Oh yeah, look. Yeah, I could affect the lines. I could get a scar, and then the line would have a different shape. I could cover the lines up with a plaster, with sellotape, with plasticine. But the hand will still be there, and the hand will have to be there for me to be able to do that. So that which is constant remains the backdrop upon which experience appears. That which is constant, another word is that I'm using, is infinite. Constant, literally always. Like never switches off. Even that, switching off, the fact that we experience switching off of light in your house, you are constantly observing the light in your room to see it go from off to on or on to off. If you was in a dark room with your eyes closed and a dark mask over your eyes, somebody turned the light on in the room, you still have your mask on, then they turn the light off. As you remove your mask and open your eyes, you will still be in darkness. You have to be that which is constantly observing change to know change. And you are. The light doesn't know darkness. Darkness doesn't know the light. They only know themselves. But you are this consciousness that is aware of both. Infinity is duality. Duality is infinity. You will not find infinity because you are it. And yes, I'm saying it's self-sustaining too. We are experiencing that the universe is self-sustaining. Show me one person on the planet who is sustaining the universe with their little home-built machine. Even though the universe is here, of course, before anybody was here. You may say, oh, but could be aliens and planets and beings we don't know of. Maybe they are sustaining the universe. First of all, they would have to be before the universe to be the ones sustaining it. Because if the universe is before them, then obviously the universe is sustaining them. And when we say universe, try not to think of, at least when I say it, try not to think of just planets and solar systems. No, I'm talking about everything that is. Whether you've seen it physically or not, everything that is, that's the universe. There's only the universe. But I prefer to use the word reality. If there is another dimension, that's reality. There's another dimension. If there's 60 billion dimensions, that's reality. Reality is 60 billion dimensions. Do you see? Because the word reality can be used in many different ways. I could say in my reality right now, I'm talking to a camera. Or I could say in reality, the Pope lives. Of course, that's a larger reality rather than my immediate reality. So when I'm talking about reality, I'm talking in the largest sense. This reality. Everything that appears in any way, shape, or form is reality. Illusions are reality. They appear as illusions. The reality in that experience is of an illusion. How can it be anything other than experience, aka reality? You can never know non-experience. As soon as you say, oh, this is non-experience, then you are that which is experiencing it. Reality is an infinite possibility of dualistic arisings. With no beginning, no end. Because experience is finite, we constantly forget that we are infinite. when we, as this pure reality, pure consciousness, experience within another body, as another body, when we become a baby again. When I say become a baby again, I'm not suggesting the mind that you have now, will reincarnate in another body at another time. No. You are already everybody, as am I. So the experience is simply be that you are a different particular body, and I am a different particular body in a different lifetime. This is hard to understand, of course, when you think in dualistically, because dualistically we can only think of beginning and end. In the same way, you could be sitting on a park bench, thinking about your house, your home. You thinking of being at home is an experience. You're at home. So you have two experiences at the exact same time. The experience of being home in the mind, and the experience of being physically in a park. Those are two different experiences appearing on the backdrop of them two experiences. So neither is more than the other. They're just different. It's the same for reality. If you were to imagine reality, this infinity that I'm speaking of is imagining everything. So imagines every single possibility that there could possibly be. So all those imaginations are already imagined. And then, so they are all existing at the exact same time. And some of those imaginations are of them being physical. Like the imagination that you're physical right now. I'm not suggesting an external God that actually imagines with a mind. It's just a way that we can understand with mind. Yeah. Everything is imagined right now. Just as you can imagine being at work, not being at work, having lots of money, having not a lot of money, imagining running, walking. You do that whilst you're doing something else at the exact same time. So if you can do that with your limited mind, so to speak, then infinity consciousness, call it God if you will, can of course do that. Because it's unlimited to just imagining two things. So that's how I'm suggesting to you that you're already in another body right now. So when we say past lives, you don't actually go to the past. You just shift to a different body, a different timeline. But not you as the person that you believe you are now. You as infinity itself. Because as I keep saying on my channels, when you do the self-enquiry, you see that there is no solid you anyway. So where can this solid you that's constantly changing, of whose thoughts you don't produce, cannot stop, which proves that you are not the thinker, where could you take this you, this I? It's just for this particular body that you have. Every experience has a body, it has to. The body that doesn't necessarily have to be flesh. We're talking about infinity here. There can be like bacteria. There's many different forms of body. A thought itself, you could say, is a body. But there has to be something to have a point of reference for infinity to seemingly produce something other than infinity. And it can, because it is infinity. I hope this makes some sense to you. If it doesn't, rewind. Because this is one of the hardest things to understand on this path. So I thought to try and help point you into an explanation of how it is so that duality is infinity. It can never be the other way around. Duality cannot produce infinity, but infinity is and can produce experiences of duality. Have a wonderful day or evening, my fellow expressions of consciousness. Please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends. Maybe it might help someone understand something they didn't understand before. And comment if you enjoyed it too. Have a wonderful day or evening once again.